Good morning to some of you, possibly in the West Coast, and cost-effective brand of point-to-multipoint and point-to-point products. Today with myself, we also have Dmitry Moisev, who is on the webinar. And between myself and Dmitry, we will do both a presentation of Elevate concept and a little bit of an overview of what ePMP is all about. And then I will be handing over the webinar to Dmitry, who will do a live Elevate upgrade. And at the end of the call, we will accept questions which our host, Julie, she will be conveying those to us, and we will try to address as many questions as possible. So with that, I will move on to my next slide, which is ePMP value proposition. It's a rather quick summary. We're not going to get into too many of the technical details for the sake of time, but at a high level, the most important thing with ePMP that we offer today is frequency reuse with GPS synchronization. It's an affordable platform, and then this is the only platform at this price range where you're able to use back-to-back base stations, access points with the same frequency on a particular tower, or for that matter, synchronize multiple towers across a wide geographic area. So the way we like to say is that this frequency reuse function solves one of your biggest challenges, which is self-interference if you all happen to be a wireless internet service provider operating in the 5 gigahertz or 2.4. It is the wild, wild west out there. There's a lot of interference. But before you think about external interference, the problem you want to solve is your internal interference. The way we like to visualize this message is that on the right side, this is a typical deployment in many parts of the world where, because of lack of scalability, because of interference situations, customers end up putting a lot of product, try to serve a particular area, looking for the next channel, et cetera, et cetera. And we like to say that once we clean up that network and you put ePMP, and all the horsepower of ePMP allows you to get what you saw in the previous picture to more of a cleaner install that you see in this picture. A better visual image is frequency reuse, which you see in this animation of sorts that you got back-to-back sectors of frequency A, back-to-back sectors of frequency B, and then you're able to do this across multiple towers. In ePMP, the second very important value proposition is once we address and have solved the self-interference problem, naturally the next thing we look at is external interference. This is where our latest product, which has been out for about a year, comes into play, is the ePMP 2000. The ePMP 2000 is essentially the access point that has a built-in filtering to help with neighboring channel interference, as well as a uplink beamforming antenna accessory. Combination of those two things and all the software and the secret sauce that we like to call comes together in 2000 and makes it the most affordable and probably one of the more powerful solutions for both internal and self-interference as well as external. A little view of what the ePMP 2000 does essentially is in the uplink, it uses beamforming. Instead of the very wide sector antenna, uses narrow beam patterns to isolate subscribers and reduce the signal to, or improve the signal to noise ratio and reduce your interference, and does give you better performance in the uplink, which also helps with the downlink performance due to TCP acknowledgements and things like that. The bottom picture kind of shows you this bubble view. It is a condensed image, but for filtering sort of creates a shield around your radio so that if somebody else goes and puts a big dish or a large high power device, you are protected against that. Again, this is a very high level summary of the value proposition. We have other webinars and lots of material, and as always, happy to answer questions to get deeper into the actual ePMP value proposition if you're not familiar with it. The three other things that we talk about is a very key term, deterministic performance. ePMP, unlike other platforms in this price range, is deterministic, which means we are always transmitting and receiving exactly when we intend to. There are systems that are based on Wi-Fi that will do contention and back-offs, which causes degradation in performance. as interference levels rise. And that's one of our key differentiation. Scalability, this is key for us, which is we support 120 subscribers per access point. And the way we schedule our subscribers, the way we handle management of the traffic, it allows you to have consistent throughput as you increase the number of subscribers per base station. So it supports high density systems. Another common thing that we've heard from a internet service provider world, at least wireless internet service provider world, is that a subscriber that happens to be in a weak signal or poor condition, it tends to drag down the performance of the base station. We also have addressed that problem in our ePMP solution. Last but not last yet, but with all the advantages and benefits of ePMP value proposition, it doesn't make sense to just limit your services to internet service, but actually start looking at value-added services where you can charge a premium. And again, it's a bit geared towards an internet service provider, but assuming we have a mixed audience, this also helps people who want to get into video surveillance or voice over IP and are looking for a reliable long-distance wireless solution, yet at a price point where the business makes sense. So ePMP opens up a world of opportunities from that perspective. Last but not least, we also have a very powerful management solution called CN Maestro. And CN Maestro allows you to manage our access points or subscriber modules. For that matter, we also have a Wi-Fi portfolio, which you happen to have below the subscriber module. All of that management, Google Maps integration, alarm statistics, troubleshooting, provisioning, upgrade, downgrade, all of that can be done throughout this management system. Okay, a little view on what the hardware looks like in case you're not familiar with it. Once again, we have integrated products, we have dish products, then we have subscriber modules where you can attach external antennas. These are all list prices. Then you have access points with sector antennas. The one on the left is missing the beam steering, but it also has a beam steering antenna option. Moving ahead, what is ePMP Elevate? With all the feature set that I just talked about and the value proposition, the fundamental challenge we saw was that the operators out there that wanted to take advantage of the solution, the only path for them was to replace the base station and replace every subscriber module that may be from a third party. And in that scenario, the truck roll cost of going and replacing them is a challenge. So we have introduced the concept of ePMP Elevate, where we allow our software, the ePMP software, to be installed on a third-party subscriber module. And once it's installed and rebooted, that subscriber module now comes up and is a virtual ePMP subscriber module looking for an ePMP access point. It's a very, very powerful solution because even if you have 25 or 30 subscribers on a tower, today a complete swap of that hardware would entail 25 or 30 truck rolls or house visits. Versus with Elevate, it entails replacing the access point and finding a little bit of a downtime and just upgrading all those units to Elevate. Needless to say, what I just talked about is that the network migration, cost of hardware, truck roll costs, and something we often may not think about is customer satisfaction, the downtime that they have to suffer as you migrate an entire sector. So this is a very powerful way of addressing the migration challenges. The fundamental scope of this is that you buy an access point from Cambium, and then the software that you download on the subscriber module is free of charge and unlimited. However, there is a licensing option at the access point that you purchase, and you get a key that you apply to the access point, and the access point then, according to that key, limits how many third-party subscribers are allowed to connect to our access point. And that is the mechanism we use to control the number of subscriber modules that would attach to it. Today, at this very moment, the commercial solution for this is where you actually have to know ahead of time how many subscribers you plan to attach to an access point. But we have a 3.5 software release available on our website where we introduced a beta version for a floating license concept. And with a floating license, you don't have to know what you're going to do with which AP. You just buy a pool of licenses, or otherwise known as an entitlement, that sits on your account on the cloud. And every time a subscriber comes online, it requests the license. AP plays the role of a proxy, checks out the license, and allocates to that SM. So you can do 15 on one day. Next day, you may add 5 more. You don't have to come back to Cambium. All that is managed by the floating license system. The release 3.5, which is our latest release, we support both 5 gigahertz and 2.4 Elevate. Today, the third-party hardware that we are supporting is Ubiquiti, XW, and XM. Approximately 46 plus supported models are supported. We are in the midst of attempting additional third-party hardware to allow elevation, but today Ubiquiti is the #1 product that is supported via Elevate. With that, I will pass this on to Dimitri. It's a quick summary, quick highlight. I'm sure there will be lots of questions that we'll be happy to answer. And with that, I will make my fellow presenter a presenter and take it from there.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah,
can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
That is awesome. Okay, so I have one Ubiquiti unit next to me. I'm connected to this unit right now with my laptop. As you can see, I just logged in to the web interface of this unit. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use regular web interface update procedure available from this third-party vendor. So I go, choose the appropriate file. As you can see, I'm choosing the version for XW, the 3.4.1 version of the Elevate firmware. I'm choosing this one. Now I'm pressing the upload button. It will take a few seconds to upload the firmware to the unit. You can see the warning that we are uploading the third-party firmware, which is from Cambium. So all we have to do is approve that we know what we are doing. So pressing the update button. And right now, all the magic will happen. So it will take a while. Probably it's a good idea to see if we have any questions.
What I would like you to do is maybe show our support page where the software is downloaded initially, and which software package is what. You can go over that.
So you have to go to support.cambiumnetworks.com. The first thing you have to do is to register at our support portal. I already did it. So I already logged in, so I can go to the download section. On the download section on the left side, you can see different subsections. So you are interested in the ePMP Elevate, so you go to the ePMP subsection under ePMP Elevate. So under ePMP Elevate, there are a list of files you can download. There are versions for the XM platform and for XW platform. As you might notice, there are different type of files. There is a bin file and TarGZ file. So the bin file is used only once when you do the Elevate procedure, when you switch from the Ubiquiti firmware to Cambium firmware. So only once. All further updates to the new Elevate software will be done through the TarGZ, using TarGZ file. There are a list of very helpful materials and the supporting documents. And there is one especially useful one called ePMP Elevator Tool. So you can press and go to our community forum and read what it is. So what Elevator Tool does, it can configure this third-party unit before you do the elevate. So if you want to have your custom PPPoE configuration or your custom VLANs after the unit is upgraded to elevate, you can use this elevator tool. So you can go to our community forum, see how it works, read the documentation, and if you have any questions, post them on our community forum, and we will be glad to answer any of your questions.
Thank you very much, Sakit and Dimitri, for your wonderful presentation. And it looks like we do have some questions. Let me start off.
If we can wait 1 second. What we're doing is Dimitri's going back to the unit that was upgraded, and he's going to walk us through a little bit more of that.
No problem. Just confirm when you're ready for questions.
So as you see right now, the unit is running using ePMP web interface, so everything is changed. Right now it looks like ePMP and acts as a ePMP, so you can get all the features described by Sakit earlier in this presentation on this platform. So right now I'm logging in. It takes a while for unit to boot up after the first elevation, so you have to be a little bit patient. The good thing is that with elevator tool you can do a batch upgrade of the whole sector, so you don't have to wait for each and every one to upgrade, so it will be way faster for you. So as you see, it looks as ePMP. I can go to the monitor wireless page and see if there are any access points. Right now it's scanning for the Cambium access points. There are no access points in this meeting room. So basically that's it for the live demo. Sakit, do you want to show anything else?
No, I think we'll just take questions, Julie. We're ready to do that. Obviously we went over things rather quickly, but the idea here was to introduce and the product.
No problem. Thank you very much for your presentation. If you guys are ready for questions, I've got some for you.
Sure.
Terrific. Let me start off here. Let's see. First question. The NSM5 is now running Elevate firmware?
NSM5.
Based on your demo, yes.
Yeah, this is the NanoStation M5 loco, which is running the Elevate. That is correct.
Thank you very much. I have the next question for you. Can you only switch over Ubiquiti devices with Elevate or other lines as well?
At this point, we support only Ubiquiti devices, but we are actively working to add other vendors as well.
Great, thank you very much. Would you guys be able to send us the rates for Elevate pricing?
Yes, not only will we be able to send it, but Julie, we can work with Microcom, and you will have access to all the price sheets, and you should be able to share that pricing. I will say that at this very moment, we have a promotion running, which if you buy a ePMP 2000 base station with the sector antenna as well as the beam steering antenna, you are entitled to 30 free Elevate licenses. So that's a pretty high number. It covers pretty much most average deployments. So you are able to get that 30 free Elevate licenses today. That's part of the promotion. And then we can share additional pricing information after that.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We're definitely looking forward to that. Next question here. In regards to Elevate, of course, do you have a list of the supported hardware that can be converted?
Yes, we do. Dimitri, is that posted on our forum right now?
Yes, posted on our forum. I don't remember the exact. Yeah, supported radio list for Elevate.
So Dimitri just went to our Elevate forum. He typed supported, and that pulls up all the devices.
So you can see the long list of supported Elevate models.
Great, thank you very much. I'm sure that's what they were looking for. Next question for you. That switch seems fairly quick. How successful is the switch out been, and who have you targeted on this?
I'll take that question. So yes, the switch is quick, partly because if you remember, the fundamental hardware structure has some similarities, and obviously we did a lot of R&D to get our file system and our operating system and all of that transposed onto the Ubiquiti hardware. The target for this market is primarily wireless internet service providers. It has been extremely well received. As you can imagine, the service providers that are stuck with older hardware and they've been trying to solve interference problems, their only path was to rip and replace. And Elevate allowed them to not do that and do it in a much more cost-effective manner. I'll give you some examples. Whisper Wireless in St. Louis, Missouri is in the midst of deploying 100 access points and elevating their entire network. A company called Pro Value Internet in Stillwater, Oklahoma has about 800 units that they elevated. We have somebody in West Texas. So there's quite a few examples like that, where wireless internet service provider are using Elevate to migrate their network. Hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Yes, it does. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sakit and Dimitri, for your wonderful presentation today and answering all of those questions. I'd like to also thank everyone for attending today. And if there are any other questions, feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And please remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel, so the whole thing can be viewed again on YouTube. Thank you today. We very much enjoyed your presentation. Everybody have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.